I am JV Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JV Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. JV Bryan Financial Group is a registered investment advisory firm that thank God, I was able to start in 1995. 1995, y'all. We are talking about tonight the mindset that is required in order to change things, improve things. Now, hey, because what? You can change and not improve, you know what I'm saying? But you cannot improve without changing. So we are going to improve, which will include change. And whatever the level, that you are on, Lord, let me tell you, it can be enhanced. Life can be better. Life can get better. No matter what point of life you are at, you can improve it. If you've got money, you can get lots more. Believe me, I'm telling you. You can get lots more. If you've got joy, you can get lots more. If you have got no money, you could get a lot less. You have what most people say, I don't have no money. I'm broke. They really aren't. They really aren't. Most people that say that they're broke, they don't even know what it's like to be broke. So imagine if they changed that statement because you have money. If you change that statement and actually were grateful for what you have, imagine how much better, how much richer you would be. Because when I say rich, like the guy in the song, I don't know if you heard me when you logged in and I was playing Callaway, I want to be rich. He said with some love, peace, and happiness. It's not enough to just have money. Then I wouldn't have to have 10 principles for AfroEconomics, right? The book wouldn't have to be over 100 pages long, if it was just about, making cash. It's about an entire lifestyle, from your legacy and the footprint you want to leave on this planet, all the way to how you take care of yourself and your health and how important that is, and God at the core of it. It's about love, peace, and happiness and having what we need. I honestly believe that if we are living our life by the principles of AfroEconomics, you will not be broke. There is no way. There is no way. Like, who that person could be. If they came up to me and they said, I'm doing all 10 principles of AfroEconomics and I have absolutely no money, like I'm broke, and I'm broker than I was a year ago because I've been following these principles, I would have to know that they're lying. You're not telling me the truth. You're lying to me, because you cannot take advantage of these sound things about increasing your knowledge and expanding yourself. Principle 2, about having financial independence, about being organized and being accountable and keeping up with where your money is and living within and below your means and becoming comfortable with that. You can't, including the principles of God of not being laden down with debt and being a slave to these lenders. If you're following those principles, there's no way, because you all know at the core of me, if you go to refuse to be broke.com, my face is going to pop up. Y'all probably laughing and you think I'm not telling the truth. Go to refuse to be broke.com, see whose face pops up. I hope it's not like an arrow sign. That's my website. That indeed, I refuse to be broke. And nothing changed in my life. It's not enough to know all of these principles and know how to do right and have all these degrees in it. That doesn't make you, not be broke. But the mere decision to say, I refuse to be broke, that will change your life. That will change your life. Because when you refuse to be broke, you're going to know how much income you're making. When I ask you, how much income did you make last year? You know, that you should know that number immediately. It shouldn't be, oh, I gotta go look for that. You're supposed to know how much money have you made year to date. You're supposed to know how much money is in your checking account. Miss Hargroves, I know Miss Hargroves knows. Miss Bullock knows what is in your checking account right now, approximately. You are supposed to know what's in your savings account, what's in your IRA, where's your June 30th IRA statement and all of your financial statements. I know Benita knows. I know this. I know that members of AfroEconomics know that because we're meeting at least each quarter and we're going over the statement. So I know you know where the statement is. It's not going to be good enough. And then if you are on the new side, you're meeting so regularly that I'm torturing you because you're scared when our next meeting comes up and you're running trying to get those statements that I need. And you're putting it into the secure portal and you're starting to be able to see trends and keep up with stuff and be organized. That is going to change the view of Black wealth. What we are doing is pioneering a movement that the stereotypes of how and what Black people do with their money will disappear. I was reading an article yesterday and they went to these people that had some customers that were Black. You know, they were a Spanish guy who was telling about Black people and how they invest with him and that they have these bad habits. And then there was this Black lady who has some Black customers and she was talking about how terrible Black women are with money. And I was so disappointed with the article because I knew they had talked to the wrong people. They had not talked to me. They hadn't talked to someone who knows how wealthy we are, someone who knows how hard we work. You know, and I'm tired of, and that's why, you know, there's certain products that come out and they go after our community and they talk to us about the wealth gap. And then they try to put you in an overpriced mutual fund with 6% sales charges on it. And then they telling you because you do this, you buy this overpriced, overexpensive investment with them, then this will get rid of the wealth gap because you're helping them get richer. I mean, seriously. This is going on way too long, way too far. we got to keep our money under our control. We have to understand what we're doing, what's happening with our money. And I was speaking with a new member the other day, and I said, it really doesn't matter where you invest. I know I can outdo it. And she looked at me like, whoa, this girl is arrogant. I said, but I know I can outdo it. If it's a fee schedule and you're not talking to the owner of the business, so if you got an account, any of these other firms, you know, and you have an account and they're charging you a fee, how many people are dealing with the president of the company who is also their advisor and can determine what fee is being charged on the account? You're being told because they said, their boss said, you're going to pay 2.5 or 3.5 or 4 or whatever. That's what you're getting it. But we don't get it. That's here. We get the advantage of you're at the top. You're with me. We're pioneering this thing. We're changing things. You should actually look at this as you were at the beginning of Facebook, the beginning of Amazon, at the beginning of AfroEconomics. You are at the beginning. You are creating it. And there are going to be, mark my word, pray that we live long enough to hear it. People are going to say, I cannot believe what she was doing. I had no idea. that she was setting up brokerage accounts and putting Black people into investment accounts on an institutional level at that time. And no one, this one white guy walked up to me and said, in 1995, what made you think to start an investment advisory firm? In 1995, I'm telling you, y'all, it is hard for you to look up and find an investment advisory firm of any color that dates back to 1995. When God told me to go to the state and do it, I didn't even know that that was going to be the future. Now, it is hard to find a firm that doesn't have an investment advisory section, where that is what we do here. Everything I do has to be in your best interest. Forget the whole word fiduciary. I, as a registered investment firm, have to work in your best interest. I'm not selling videos. I'm talking about spending time with you. That's what we do, one-on-one. I'm not trying to get you to buy a packet of videos and then go home and watch it. You can go to the YouTube channel and get everything that anybody is selling. You can get that for free on my channel. You find a topic on my YouTube channel, or you find a topic out there that's being charged for, and then you go and look at AfroEconomics YouTube channel and see if you don't find the same channel, the same information, the same topic for free. All they're doing in many cases, and I know it, are taking the topic that I'm giving for free and packaging it and selling it, and we're buying it. That's how easy it is to make money, but they're not rich because they're not helping people. They know better. Knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Knowledge, basic knowledge in a video should not be something that you're trying to keep to yourself. The power is in helping you individually, knowing Miss Granage's specific need and addressing that with her one-on-one. That's the power. Not in a video sitting there, someone talking about generic information. We've got to stop it. You don't buy that. you don't. You don't do it. You get in and spend your money on things that empower you. There's so many ways to get information. You need empowerment. You need something that is focused on my specific need and someone. You don't need just like you can Google and get knowledge. You like the way I present it? Go to the YouTube channel. Get the knowledge. Empowerment is taking that information and applying it to your specific situation. I can sit there and tell you about a 1040 and itemizing and everything and doing a Schedule C and blah, blah, blah. But when I'm looking at your specific tax return and we're breaking it down and getting you ready for your tax preparer and finding how you need to approach it, what type of the amendment needs to be done in many situations, finding errors and getting it corrected, that's empowerment. Y'all feel me? Oh, I did. Jimmy, I feel very happy today. So blessed. Indeed, Miss Hernandez. Miss Hernandez, indeed. Hey, Miss Davis. Good evening back at you. I know that's right. Hi, Miss Hayes. Good evening to you. Miss Beecham is in from walking. I called her today. She was like, I'm walking around the track like teachers do. Yes, she is teaching our young people. Oh, indeed. So I got some ideas. For y'all. Remember, I said I wanted us to discuss some key things. Now, before I do that, I want to make sure I'm gonna open up the microphone for a few of y'all, and I want to see if you're going to talk to me when you thought about this topic. Like, what came to your mind? What motivated you? What did you want to make sure you went home with? Went home with, right? Just to make you feel like you went somewhere. Let's pretend you are with me in the Coliseum somewhere. Indeed. I would love to hear Kathy Hargrove's voice. It's been a minute. Tell me, how you doing, Miss Howard? When you thought about this topic, and I said, you know what, today I'm gonna ask you questions. You know, you're not gonna ask me questions. You know, I'm not gonna ask you to answer it right now, though. But if I ask you, what was your income for last year? Could you all tell me that? Could you all tell me exactly what you made? Very close to. You know how sometimes, like if you're trying to prove your identity or something, it'll ask. I know, like on the Social Security Administration, I couldn't get into that SSA.gov because I try to walk like I talk. And I keep telling everybody now, especially this year, you need to get into that SSA.gov, sign on, let them know that you are alive. So don't wait. I know Ms. Jones said yes, she can. If she had to prove her identity by telling what the income was on her tax return, she could do it. Who else could do it? Who else could do it?
I can.
You could, Miss Hayes. All right, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
I think I can.
That's what I want to hear. I think I can. I think I can. I know you can. Be what you want to be. Indeed, Miss Davis. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes. You do. Yes, you do. So yeah, they have a new way of proving your identity. They have a couple of different new ways because I kept like not being able to prove my identity for SSA.gov. And so after I couldn't prove my identity with these questions because they were asking me about things and streets that I lived on that I have not lived on. So then they changed it. And Miss Barnes, she ain't here tonight. She's probably somewhere partying. She loves to party. And Miss Barnes said, you know, they changed the way that you can do that now. And then so she just stayed right there and I did it. We were sharing screen, doing some stuff for her. And I kept sharing screen. And I said, well, you always show me your business. I'll show you my business. And we went on through, you know, went on through, because I'm telling you, I would not have probably taken the time. And I think Mr. and Mrs. Joe will confirm this, that if you don't take the time for your own financial goals, nobody else is going to take the time for you. You know? So I like it when we have the time for us, because this, someone was telling me, and I emailed them, and I was saying that during the time that we were going to meet, because they couldn't do the meeting because they felt like they wanted to get some things done. I said, take our meeting time and do the things that you want to get done. And because our meeting time makes sure that you are doing things for you. Like, you know, like when we go and do other things. Like we take time to eat, we take time to get our nails done, we take time to get our hair done. We need to take time, like set aside time. And so the AfroEconomics financial planning membership, I think that's really, that's a big part of the power, that it forces you to take time for your financial goals. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That's right. That's right. Anybody want to share before I give you these 10 powerful tips that I have for you? You're going to be amazed. These are like amazing. Okay, I want us to really focus on tonight on the power of improvement. A part of me wanted to say the power of change, but do you remember why I said I'm not going to just say change, I'm going to say improvement? Anybody remember? Does anybody remember why I said that? I'm going to say improvement, not change. Say it.
Power of improvement.
Huh? The power of improvement. Why not, Ms. Joe? Why not just change? Why couldn't I just say change?
Change could also be negative.
That's right. Tell them. That's right. Because just because, you know, and you hear that all the time and they go, something's got to change. Well, I promise you, something is always going to change.
Yeah.
There is, you know what I'm saying? It's like
It
change.
might just be your age.
That's right, right. You used to be getting, and look, and it's very hard to just get older. Like
Yeah.
you're getting older, but if you're not doing things to keep yourself healthy, you know what I mean? That's a difference. Like people think just because they got old, like you and your wife are two healthy people who are grown. But there are people a lot younger than you who are not as healthy as you are. And I know that you've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no, like, after a point in life, there is no like direct correlation. And insurance companies will tell you that if you live to like this point, there is highly likely you're going to live to like this point. Like a black man that gets to 65, he's almost like home free. Like, you know what I mean? He's getting, if he gets to 65. And it's same for women. But if you get to 65 crawling, you know what I mean, then you're looked at statistically different than if you get to 65 and you're still walking around the block and you're still moving yourself, you're still, able to progress. But if you get to 80 and you're still moving, it's on. They're like, you're gonna probably get past 100, right?
Right.
Miss Jones said her father is 92.
Awesome.
Wow. Nice.
Right? Your father's 92 also?
Oh, no.
I thought she was saying her father was 92. I know, like, you know what? That is so amazing. And I have Miss Greenwich, your mom was 96 and 95 and coming in my office at 95. Coming in. Like, so it is amazing. Like when you really think about it, the amount of money that you're going to need, because if you're taking care of yourself, look, in exchange for these long lives, you're gonna have to have some money, to maintain that. So that we want to make sure, like, how you have to be about improvement, because someone will listen to this discussion about improvement and what is your income, are you saving enough, or are you spending too much, and say, well, I'm 70, that's not applicable to me, my goodness, or I'm 30, I'm good, the other extreme. No, there's no excuse. I started my business in my 20s. Come on. I always say my 20s so that y'all don't know exactly my age. I'm not going to tell you what 20 it was, but it was in my 20s. So that makes me somewhere. It gives a range, makes it more interesting. One day, I'm just going to tell you. And anybody that knows, if you announce it, you will be permanently blocked from this. You would be like I would put your picture up. It'll be like banned, like at the post office. You are banned from AfroEconomics. Indeed. But let's look at these. I love it when y'all talk. I love your energy. I just want us to feel alive. If there is a night of the week that you feel alive, or if you're, for some reason, I haven't opened up your microphone and you have something to say, please tell me this. I am telling you that there is power in being on this video and acknowledging your voice and putting, at some point, at least putting your picture up. But if you feel really good, like Twyla does a lot, like Twyla, she will come on video with me. But this is part of your being rich. You have a 99% better chance of being rich if you say something on the mic right now. You have to say something right now. See? I mean, anything. If you just say something right now, because a lot of being rich is psychological. Do you believe me on that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There
Yeah.
are a lot of people who have decided that they're going to be a broke. And in order to be broke, you have to be dead. You have to be not about improvement, because every day is a new opportunity for us to change our financial situation. You know,
Wow.
and you don't have to be in a castle in order to be rich. You have to have a rich mindset. You have to have I refuse to be broke mindset. You have to have an attitude of, yes, I'm going to do that. Not maybe, not sometimes, not this, you know what I mean? That, yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, I can. I am. I am that I am. Everyone, huh?
If that's the case, hey, JB.
That's right. Give it to me. You better. I'm telling you, you better
I
speak up.
am.
It's
Absolutely.
coming.
I want to be rich, Miss JB.
Ooh, claim it. Yes,
I'm
exactly.
richer than Jeff Bezos.
Yes. And in order to
Oh,
do
I
that,
love that hat, that wrap thing.
yes, right. Say it, Jenny
Who
Jones.
was that wrapping? Oh, that person was gorgeous.
Who is the what? Oh,
Someone had the
Akila.
wrapping. He
Akila
was
had the rap.
gorgeous.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. That's not her real rap. You gotta say real hair. That's not her real rap. I know y'all have met before. I think but look. So the definitely let's talk. We're going to talk. We're talking about being rich. She just Jenny.
Jenny ain't paying attention.
Yeah, I know.
She's already
What's up?
rich.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, you
Yes,
want
I'm
some?
rich.
There
You
you
want some
go.
exactly?
I
I'm
have
rich.
more than enough.
I am
I
rich.
know that's right.
Look, the men can't get the money in edgewise. You see that even here, even on this level,
I am.
even on this level. I'm just joking.
I'm speaking for the men. I'm speaking for the men.
Speak it, Jimmy. Speak it. Jimmy is popular. Somebody was talking about him the other day. Jimmy's just a man. So look at
Ooh.
this. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Somebody
You
talking
silly,
about
all
Jimmy.
Mhm.
So the key, we're talking about having a fulfilling life and living freely and feeling confident and not worried, about money all the time. And that was one thing I realized. Like, I had friends that lived in the projects, and my family, we lived in a nice home and everything, and they lived in government housing. And I remember going over to their house and how sweet everybody was to everybody. Like, they were always like very nice, and they were kind. And then eventually the mother got a house, you know what I mean? And they got out of the projects, it's called, like they got out. But the mom, like, she worked hard all the time, but they were always happy. And I remember, like, at home, like, my parents weren't always happy. Like, sometimes I could tell that my dad was like stressed out about money at work. And at work he was under a lot of pressure. He had a very stressful job, and everything. And it made me, I actually, like, admired their life. Can y'all feel me on this?
Yeah.
I just want to say,
Yep.
I admire my friends that did not have the money. You know what I'm saying? Their life, they're just a piece of it, more than our own, where we had Cadillacs and cars and two-story house and mom and dad and all that. But it is amazing to me now that I think about it. You know what I mean? That fulfillment is so important. And I don't want to ever feel that I can't stop, make sure that my child is okay. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that Mike needs something, or make sure that I do have some time that I'm, doing for my loved ones and giving them, attention.
Yep.
Because in all, that's what life is all about.
Right.
And that's why it's so important for us
Right.
to do what we love. Like, my daughter will never be able to say that my mom was unhappy at work. Like, she will never see that face that I saw where my dad would have like disappointment, or the board meeting was very political and they were disrespectful, or you know what I mean? Things like that. Like, I wouldn't, she doesn't have that in her psyche about what you have to do to make a living. And I remember that, and my father going through so much that was what encouraged me to start my own business. And there's been times where I've been in business I should say when I started my business, that I had no money. I had, there were times where I was like, what am I going to do? I remember times when they had tolls on the road of 95, scrubbing through my floor mat of my car, trying to figure out to get the money together to pay the toll.
Yeah.
I remember, trying to figure out those things. Like, what am I going to do? I remember, like, have I done the right thing? Should I just go ahead and take that job? I remember I had a tax preparer back then. Now I do my own corporate and individual taxes, but my tax preparer, and every year he would say, like, why do you put yourself through this? Why do you put yourself through this? And there was a older white guy that this black guy in business had introduced me to him. And then I said to him, and I liked him, good dude, old guy. And I said, and his son went to Virginia Tech. I gone to UVA. Me and him were similar ages. His son now was coming to his firm, working for him. And I said, why do you do this? And he got quiet.
Thank
You know
you.
what I'm saying? I looked at his son. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
like, why do you do it? How would your son ever have gotten this to walk into if you hadn't done this?
Mm-hmm.
But it was a couple years later before God kept beating me over my head and said, the other guy that referred me to him ended up going out of business. And I said, it's time for me to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't do nothing for him. They definitely are doing anything for me. And I was like, but I had one of my degrees was in accounting. So I was on top of it. But if I hadn't, I know that we have to be very careful in business who we partner with. And I don't go around and tell clients, I don't tell y'all, well, you know what? I double majored in accounting and finance. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, I don't say it. But that's why I have like this ease of talking to you about tax planning. So, but I'll tell you, like, I want us to first, in this movement of improvement, I want us to be bold. I want us to be bold like I had to be about moving into financial freedom, and realize that being bold is not going to be easy. And my thing was, like I said, that we're in a, special time where Black people, in this consciousness of Black people, where we've become a marketing product, we need to be more bold than ever, so that we can pull out this nonsense. Like this, where Benjamin Crump just settled for $12,000 with a smack in the face to a woman who's dead, and the people who killed her are not even in prison yet. So if you can get 12, remember the workshop that we did on municipalities levying lawsuits.
That's right.
That was a great opportunity for all of these financial institutions. $12 million, they could have got $100 million for that case. If they will settle, like Master P, when I was showing y'all last week, when Master P said they offered him $1 million, and he said to his brother, I only got $500 in my pocket, man. But if they offer me $1 million, imagine what I'm worth.
And plus, how much are they gonna get? How much are they gonna get when they get their piece from Crump and his staff?
Thank
How much is the family gonna get?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. And she didn't have any children. So why not hold out? Why not? Even if you get 0, the point has to be bold and tell them, I want those men arrested and don't try to buy us off.
Yep.
And that's the kind of stuff that I had to do. I don't know if I told y'all about the time where Mr. Ucrop called me in because he was recruiting for an investment firm and they wanted somebody black like me. And I said, no, I want to start my own firm. He got up and left me sitting at the conference table. Ain't nobody trying to help us do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, anyway, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? This little girl think I'm gonna help her do that. I'm just trying to get her to come work for us. You know what I mean? Walked out. I did my duty. She don't want to go. She disobedient. Talking about she gonna have her own firm. Woo!
Who does she think she is?
Hey, who does she think she is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Maybe
Look, but I'm gonna tell you
turn
one
red.
thing. Look, who's still in business? Who out of business? They out of business. I'm
Okay.
still standing. I need to write them a letter on that. Baby,
Right.
you should have invested in me. Cause Kroger and everybody, Kroger got you. Whole Foods got you. We still standing.
Amen.
People, you know what I'm saying? When you have people to help, I want us to make an improvement by making a commitment to helping more people. Seriously. That was my third point. First point, be bold for your financial freedom. Do what you love. Second and third, serve more people. Help more people. If we help more people get what they want, I'm going to get what I want. If I make you rich, you're going to stay close to me. You're going to be like, I don't know what else to tell you, but I'm not doing this without JB looking at it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how my best clients feel. You know what I'm saying? They like, I don't know, but that's good. I mean, that, you know, no, she will look out for me. Serve more people, and you don't have to worry about eating. At least even I know that I got at least 1,000 people whose houses I could go over and get a meal. So we gonna eat for a minute. You know what I'm saying? That's like 3 years. Change gonna come. Change gonna come within 3 years. Exactly. Serve people and create something. Create something. Create a business. Create a work on your property. If you have something, some family property that's just sitting there empty, sell it and let's invest it or make it into something. Too much money is just sitting there. You got money sitting in your garage, most of you. Cars that need to be sold. Things that need to be sold, furniture that needs to be sold or donated or something. Get rid of it and invest it. Invest it. Invest wisely. My fifth point is we have to be conscious of what we're doing with our money. Like, how much money do you just have? Like, oh, that's been there for years. I'm going to talk to JB about that next year. You know, time just goes by. Make sure that we look at it and improve it. Even 1 percentage point different, right, Stemmy? 1 percentage point difference can really make a difference. Save more. Save more. What we got to do right now anyway, right? Save more. We spend too much money. Have you really ever thought about it? Like how much money you spend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to actually say something. I had a phone call this week talking to a young lady that I need to do some work for.
Okay.
And she said she got to tell me this because her twin wasn't there.
Mm.
Her sister bought a car. And she said But the important part that she wanted to impart to me was that she saved her money and then bought the car.
That's
I
beautiful.
was so happy you couldn't believe it.
That's right. They
She
knew
just,
that
she
you would
saved
appreciate
her
it.
money
That's so
and then
good.
bought the car.
That's
I
so
could have
good.
jumped.
Exactly. She didn't get a payment. She actually bought a
No.
car. That's
And
so
she
good.
bought her own car.
That's so beautiful.
Yes,
That's so
because we've spoken before.
that's so good.
Save your
They're,
money.
you know, they're the biggest waste of money. And now we realize that. And
Right.
I have a member now that I'm trying to convince to get rid of a car. You know, that there are, that if we just looked at our money and the drastic moves, like remember I said that you got to be bold. Like if you want things to be better, know that you cannot talk to me and I'm not gonna tell you what to do. You see, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I come out with some bold ideas, don't I, y'all? I mean, you're like, I can't believe JB wants me to do that. But like that, but in order for things to improve, it's gonna be a bold move. It's going to be a bold move. Even if you think about that young lady, when she went into that car dealership, they told her probably 6 different times, we can finance it. We can finance it. We got no interest now. You could do no payments for
Exactly.
we could do no payments for 3 months. You could so and so and so. You da 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 da. I mean, and she was probably like, I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know. Mr. Joe told me but she was bold. She held on to it. She said, "Here's the money," and she walked out. And you got to be bold with it. That you gotta do it like you mean it. Do it like you mean it. Live below your means. Live below your means. Like we are socialized to live above. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because if we weren't socialized to live above our means, nobody would have a mortgage. Nobody would have credit cards. Nobody would have a car loan. Nobody would have school loans. So they had to do a psychological, arrangement with your mind to say to you, because there were a time, and I know Mr. Hollis, Mr. Joe can back me on this. There were a time where they would not lend money to Black people.
Right about that.
You know what I'm saying? So they were like, well, if you want to buy that house, Negro, you gonna have to save your money. And y'all, Black people still got houses.
Yep.
And that's what we don't realize. Like, we still got the house. You just get the land, then you get the cement, then you get hire the people, and you do it just like you would do to add a deck on to the bank's house. We add stuff on to the house we don't even own. It got all this stuff, add this on, add that on, and it still got a mortgage, but never really think about the fact that you're adding stuff on to something that ain't even yours. Miss a few payments.
Listening. I was listening to this interview with his name is Fountain Hughes. He was an ex-slave, and I think when the interview happened, I think it was in his hundreds, and he was talking about the first thing he said was that he never he doesn't owe nobody any money. He says, I don't owe nobody 5 cents.
That's right.
He said, I don't got any gray hair on my head because he said, I never borrowed. If I wanted something, I would save up. And he talked about how, like, being a Black person, you couldn't go and get stuff on credit. He called it buying on time. He said, I never bought nothing on time. I saved up and paid for it out of my pocket, and it saved me stress. I don't got no stress, and I don't owe anybody no money, and he was in his hundreds.
That's right.
Amen.
And that's that's the way I had to learn how to live. And even now, when I put something on a credit card, it's so easy to leave it on the credit card. And I almost have to force myself to pay the card off. You know what I'm saying? It's so, because we are so socialized that it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Like, it's just something that we do, but it's not okay. You know what I mean? It's like eating pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay, but we know it has no nutritional value. You know what I'm saying? It's just creating this huge economy, you know, that we're supporting. And so what's happened is we're making all this income. We're not saving enough of it. And we're actually, if they look at it, Black people are disproportionately providing for the US economy.
Oh, yes.
I just don't have the research, you know what I'm saying, to show it, because all that is researched, and that might end up being something I can do for my dissertation, because most of the research is on, you know, what the gap between, you know, and things, but it's not about how more, you know, how, as we've talked about before, how that you have all of these rich people who benefit from these itemized deductions, so they're not paying the taxes that the average Black family is paying,
Right.
because they don't have, you know, all of these, you know, big deductions to take advantage of, and we're less likely, unfortunately, to have our own businesses. So we're not getting, you know, an opportunity to build a business with the government helping us, because most of the time we're dealing with a tax preparer who's telling you that your business is a hobby, so you can't write it off. And that irritates me to no end. Who are you to tell me that something that generates income is a hobby? When I'm making income, the income is supposed to be reported. That's the law. So are the expenses that are associated with that. And if I made less income than the expenses connected, then that's where, you know, that's what startups, that's why the IRS allows you to have startup. You can do, like, I mean, huge amounts of money to write off a business startup. And we're not investing in that. But that's how you get rich, completely fulfilled in life, having something to pass on to your next generation. It is a much better blessing to pass on an opportunity for lifetime income to your next generation than just a life insurance policy with a payout that might pay a few bills. You know, no, income and wealth development. And even if they inherit a business, they could sell the business. Like, we don't even take our businesses seriously. There are people who are bold about improvement, who start businesses and a year later sell the business and make multiple millions of dollars. We can be inventing things that can be sold, inventing things that make people's life easier. That's why we're supposed to go to college. We're not supposed to go to college so that we can learn how to read Black history books. We can read Black history books without spending money on college. We're supposed to go to college to get skills. And if you want to be a teacher, that's why you go to college. You know, and then you have to become certified as a teacher and go into a graduate level and do what is required to be a teacher. But our kids can't just go to school. I'm doing a report now for Channel 6 on 13 million college graduates, college seniors are terrified about their financial future. Because what? They don't know what's ahead for them because they didn't have a plan. I talked to my daughter about the plan. I turned her towards her strengths, you know what I mean? Because it helps her have a plan. And the point of going to school is not to have 4 more years of fun at your own and your parents' expense. We got to get them into that mindset that, you know what I mean? It's about them learning how to invent things, invent a service, invent a product, build things. You can't be sitting there terrified because people are not hiring. This is where we can learn to be entrepreneurs again. When we were freed as slaves, they weren't going around and saying, we're hiring ex-slaves over here. And there were some slaves who still worked like slaves because they could not figure out what to do to improve themselves to go to the next level. They were like, this is too frustrating. Every time I try to do this, they pull the rug from under me. Every time I do that, they pull the rug from me. But you know what? Here it is, year 2020, and it's still happening today. So we still have to go and work on improvement because the rug gets pulled.
It's amazing. You should have this conversation because I was talking with my nephew in South Carolina about the same conversation today. I was telling him that China turns out so many young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
America not turning out any.
Yes. Because we're not socialized, you know what I mean, to be the entrepreneurs that we were created to be. No, even Adam and Eve were entrepreneurs. It is the essence of our existence.
Yeah.
Like,
explain that.
God didn't put them to work for anybody. You know what I mean? He said, here, he gave them, you know what I mean, this field and these trees and stuff. And he said, now go and do work.
That's right.
I'm gonna give you some water and go over and feed, we'll work. But it's at our core. That's what should be at our core.
Mm-hmm.
But in most of our highly educated families, in my family, my family looked at me crazy. Okay, since you want to go over there and struggle, then you just go ahead and do that. And I'm glad that before my dad passed on that he saw that it did work. But I know he was like, this girl's a fool and she wants to make her life hard. He did not see, and there's so many people who their family is not supporting them in their desire to build a business. But that is the boldness that is needed in order to have a rich life. I never had to worry if I was going to go to my daughter's school one day. If I go to my daughter's school, I'm going to my daughter's school, period. If I want to have lunch with my child, I had lunch with my child, period. When she first started kindergarten and they said she can learn to play the cello, but you're going to have to come to the cello lesson every week, I went to the cello lesson every week. Yes, it meant sacrificing income. I sacrificed the income, but that's what a rich life is all about. And now some parents are going to have to sacrifice. When my husband left me, when my daughter at 4 weeks old, $1 million basically walked away from me. Because I could not, I have a brand new baby. There's no way that you can work like that with a little teeny baby, 6 employees, and you're trying to still get everything done. Things had to change, but I was not going to allow my business to end. I sold my house. I moved my child into my office and we started working and she was with me every day and I hired a nanny and immediately within a year, I was making more money than ever. See, we can do this, but it meant bringing closer to me what really matters. A lot of people would have hired a nanny, put them over in the house and not got to know her child. No, I had my daughter right there with me. Right there with me. And I remember this lady telling me, she said, well, it's not really professional to have your child in the building. I said, this is my building. This is my business. And this is my child. They can go and get any of these people all over here that do investments. But this is the way I live my life. And I know she 18 years later, I know my child. So I believe that we have to set a goal. And I had to make a conscious decision that it's having my value system this way, that whatever way that way is, was my goal. And I decided that I don't want to have debt. I quickly realized that having too much debt as an entrepreneur will put you out of business. But I had to learn it the hard way, meaning feeling completely overwhelmed and working my way backwards. Because when you're in financial services, you can't just throw up your hands and decide to file bankruptcy. I had to pay every bill. Every bill. It has to be paid. And I said, so if you don't, we have to decide that. Set the goals. Make wise investments. Live below your means. Save more. It's so hard. It's so hard. So I just don't buy nothing. That's what I do. Like, so in order, it's so hard to say when you have your own business. So what I do, I just don't buy anything unless I gotta have it. And then just refuse to be broke. And my final point is I believe that everybody should become an expert at something and never stop improving yourself. You know, always invest your time wisely, your energy wisely. You know, always be about improvement. Even though it's not easy and people don't really like being around people like this, you know, but it's still very important that we always are about improvement, because it makes everybody else feel like, well, I'm not doing that much. Here she come, Jenny walking around the lake. But that's what you have to do. You have to do that. Right?
Right.
Yep.
Anybody want to expand on those points before? Those are my 10, 11, 12 key points.
Yeah, I like to expand on it. JB.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you was talking about you say make bold moves, right?
Yes.
Basically, what you're saying too is see, here in America, we've been taught linear. You know, we live in this linear reality. Like we've been taught 1, 2, 3, ABC. And when we, like here in America, when we eat pizza, we eat it from the tip to the back, right?
Yeah.
Like you can go in other countries and they all eat it from the back to the front. So when you step outside of this matrix and go outside of how they teach us, because basically they teach us in a way where we'll stay within a matrix and we won't tap into our creativity.
Amen.
Right? So a lot of my advice too is the power of sleep, because I read this book on sleep. When you go into your REM sleep and all that, that's when your creativity, that's when, because we kind of operate off of beliefs and how we've been taught. So we tend to put up a wall when we in an awake state. So we don't think too much outside of the box. So
okay.
My advice is to tell a lot of people is whatever you're trying to do, think about it right before you go to sleep. Write it down and go to sleep.
Okay.
And then you are basically going to your REM sleep thinking that, and that's when you had these aha moment, because they were saying they say like an inventor, he knew the power of sleep. Like he had an iron ball in his hand and like a metal plate on the ground. So he just sat there, and when he went to sleep, when you go in your REM sleep, you kind of do it. So the ball dropping, it woke him up. So as soon as he woke up, he wrote down what he was dreaming about at the time. See, so that's my advice.
Love it. Well, I'm glad, like, that is powerful. We look, and I can appreciate that. But it's basically probably also part of, like, just saying the power of our mind and the power of how we see ourselves. And the word talks about that too, about the renewal of our mind. Like that is the key. You know what I mean? To all of our self-improvement, self-expansion, the power of our mouth and how we see ourselves, how we define ourselves. So many people say, I'm broke, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. I don't, no, I mean, all of those are, working against you.
And those your perceptions too, because whatever your perception you see in life, that's the life you live in.
That's right.
Because I could be looking at a glass
half. Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. But I mean, powerful, because it's so true. If you feel like you're a loser or you feel like you're broke, you will be broke. Like, and I know Mr. Dorsey's out there listening, and he'll tell you his story about, growing up, and that after he was told by someone that, man, you could go to college like everyone else, like when he was in the military. But if nobody had ever told, if the officer had not told him, like, hey, you can go to college, he would have never seen it as an option. And I remember, when my counselor told me to consider University of Virginia, I had never heard of the school. I wasn't even thinking about it. And then my father told me, you can do it. And then that's why I did it. But at the same time, we see so many, people who tell us, what we can't do. and would buy into it. Because I really can't tell you anyone that told me it was a good idea for me to start my firm when I started it. Everybody said, you're too young. Wait till later. Black people won't do it. Black people don't have any money. Black people, all of these horrible reasons. And I said, well, you know what? But what did I say? Number one is we gotta make bold moves. And I went into my boss's office and I said, hey, I'm leaving. And he said, nah, seriously, what firm are you going to? And I said, I'm starting my own firm. He said, nah, what's firm? Where I said, I'm starting my own firm. He knew that I was going somewhere down the street and work for somebody else. It was hard for him to fathom. This girl's really gonna do this. She don't know she a kid. No, I did not know I was a kid. I really didn't. I did not view myself that way. I just knew that they're only paying me commission. So what's the difference? They're not giving me anything. I can do this. And
I did that.
Yeah.
Sorry. I did that right. When I quit my job right before, it was February 28th, and that was my last day at work, and it was a leap year. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a leap of faith, because with my job, I was not making, it was a salary, but it wasn't enough to really allow me to do what I needed to do. I was stressed out. So I'm like, I'm going to quit my job. And here we are in the middle of a pandemic, 8 months later, and I just looked at my last paycheck that I got from my job, and I now have replaced what I was making with those paychecks.
There you go. That's right. And it's in a pandemic. Exactly. And that's such a blessing.
I want to say this here. Y'all giving a good example of the now is more important than anything. Like JB, when you were saying, just come over the microphone and say something, you'll be.
Right. That's right. You're gonna be blessed. You'll be 99%. You're gonna get it.
Like if a lot of people that didn't come on, they can be thinking about what happened in the past that's keeping them from coming on, what's happening in the future. Like just say, if you just focus on the now and just make a move, don't think about in the future and in the past.
That's right.
Yeah.
And or how they sound, or will she be able to hear me, or I don't have anything significant to say, or somebody just said what I said. Because you get so shut down. I get shut down all the time for having this desire to help everyone. I can be in something and it's totally, somebody say something totally off-centered that I know is wrong. I have a desire to make sure that the people know that that's not right. But even though 80% in the room will know that they know that it is wrong, what was said, but they will say nothing, right, Mr. Dorsey?
Oh, man, I love you when you do that. I love it when
you do that.
You put crazy in check. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, folks are afraid of the power of thought. See, if you just be bold and make a move, see, it'll spark a thought, and from a thought is what create bring things into reality.
That's right. But people are gonna be, I was on a panel the other day, and this young lady was telling people how, everybody should have life insurance, and people should have life insurance on their children and stuff like that. And I was like, that's the lie that gets told to Black people all the time. But I didn't say that. I just said that is not true. Everybody does not need life insurance. And actually, it is my goal to get my clients self-insured, because the whole use of life insurance, you know how much money people make off people with life insurance? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh my God. So
You're
I'm like,
absolutely right.
Yeah. And I said, and what would I need life insurance for a child for? I said, if you've got to have it, your child can just be a rider. But I know the other person, was mad, but I'm not going to sit here and let you lie to these people. You know what I'm saying? But she, and she knew better, but I don't think she had a securities license. So when they don't have a license to give you alternatives, then they will tell you only what they can sell. And that's the advantage of working with an investment advisor who always has to work in your best interest versus just working for a salesperson.
Hence the word fiduciary.
Yeah, and then they overuse the word fiduciary now. where a life insurance agent can call themselves a fiduciary, but it's not the reason. What you're thinking about is, are you licensed and required to work in my best interests? You know, where a fiduciary could only have the suitability guideline. And suitable means that it's suitable. That's it. Doesn't mean it's in your best interest. And see the games that they play? See the games? But we don't know. So just because something is suitable for you does not mean it's in your best interest. So when I go in and I complain about a client was put into something, you can't get your money back because it was suitable for you, even though it wasn't in your best interest. Isn't that sad?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I want to say this here, JB. That's why the
we need
mind is
to
so
know these
powerful.
things. Mm-hmm.
What's your thought on when you talking about life insurance and you were talking about credit cards earlier and you were talking about cars, right?
Yeah.
Now, I see all those as tools. Once you restructure your mind, you can actually use all of those and turn them into where they'll actually generate. Like with the credit card, like you say, you can pay cash for something, or you can put it on your card and pay it. You gotta have a discipline. Pay it at the end of the month.
That's
A
right.
card that'll generate points. So it's
Get
like
some
your money
rewards.
keeping
That's
up.
right.
Yeah, keeping
But
up
you
with
gotta
capital.
know. That's why I was saying it's just so hard to pay it off. But
Right.
a lot, because a lot of people, most people only make the same amount of money every month. So if they can get away with trying to not pay off $500 on a credit card, you know, they're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Because then they can leave it on the credit card and you can spend your $500 on something else. Then the next month something comes up, and next time the 500 it becomes 1,000. Now
That's why the real
$1,000.
currency is in the mind. It's
That's
real,
right.
really the correct.
That's
Because
right.
you could buy a car. You could buy a car, and you can turn that into a asset and turn it to you can turn it to Uber
or something. That's right. And that's a difference. That's different, because if you have a work vehicle, then and if you do a Schedule C on your return, then that payment becomes a tax deduction. But the typical person is only getting a W-2. You know what I'm saying? So Uber drivers get a 1099 so they can do it on their Schedule C. But
and like the life insurance,
totally different. It's totally different because a regular person, you know, they have to know. You have to know what you're doing. Have to know what you're doing.
And what about like life insurance? You heard of velocity banking? Like you can actually take like your insurance and get it to pay your house mortgage. And,
that's horrible.
You know what I'm saying?
Horrible.
Oh, it's horrible? Oh,
horrible. Horrible. Yeah. I mean, you got to be very, 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 very careful with that. And they said you don't have to do that. You know, they're basically trying to take your cash value and use it. You know what I mean? And with things that you could have done. And then when you want it back, they're going to charge an extra fee, you know, to an order, and you let them use the money, almost like a reverse mortgage.
No, I can't.
You know, so just be very careful in the usage of your insurance for things like that. But yeah. But but there's a lot of it out there. People even trying to buy life insurance policies. Companies buy them. Companies trying to buy like lump sum payments, your lottery payments, your annuity payments. You know, if we are not disciplined, they're going to continue. That's what I'm saying. We create this economy. When they put that $600 extra money out there, they said probably they have like if you looked at the congressional office, they probably have stats on how much they expected the Black community to put back into the economy of that money. When people could have taken that money and they could say, I'm making more than what I'm usually making. And if they had taken that money and saved it, you know what I'm saying, and lived the same way and made sure that everything still got paid, you know, the economy would have had the effect that it should have had. Like it wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't be seeing the Wall Street acting like nothing happened. But when they said, let's give them this money because they're going to get it back to us, even on the business ones. They said, we're going to give you this money, but it better go to payroll. You know, so they knew that they were going to get it money back on payroll taxes and the expenses associated. You know,
Hey,
going back
JB, I'd like to add something to that. Also, when they did that $1,200, this was the most $1,200 down payments for cars.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Ever.
Oh wow.
That $1,200. You know where that $1,200 come from?
Right from their stimulus check.
Right. Yep. And they're going right back in the debt, and they put them change right back on their necks.
And that is a good point, because they said like car sales were up and stuff like that, even though most car dealerships have actually laid off people. That's what's so sad. You know, so they laid off people, kept this, you know, down, doing it by appointment and selling more cars.
Yep.
Why are people buying cars and can't go anywhere?
Yeah, a lot of businesses use
buying cars and
do a
can't
layoff.
go and they can't go anywhere.
Can't go nowhere.
It's crazy.
Putting chains on their neck and their ankles.
Crazy. Yep. It's crazy. New car. And it's so true. Well, y'all, we know. So don't expect everybody to respond to your improvements in a positive way.
Preach, sister.
But know that you are safe here.
Preach.
This is the environment for self-improvement. And we need to have a safe place. Just know the more you sacrifice, the more that you will benefit. You know what I mean? There will come a time, for any time that you have sacrificed, there will come a time where you'll be so thankful that you did.
So JB, you saying this group here is the JB's Black Wall Street, huh?
No, it's called AfroEconomics.
Right.
Yep. Yes, indeed. AfroEconomics.
And you know, Black Wall Street was not Black Wall Street. It was called Little Africa in its time. So we're actually disrespecting it by calling it Black Wall Street.
Exactly. That makes more sense to me, because I always said, like, why do they call it Black Wall Street? I'm so glad you said that. Because I always wondered, like, did they really call it Black Wall Street so it was called Little Africa? Good. I mean, that makes more sense.
You know, they were so well off. Why they call them Black Wall Street? Those people had it going on.
Yes. But so do a whole bunch of people, Black people in Richmond, in DC, in Maryland, you know, and just to name a few of the states that y'all are from that are talking to us right now, you know, that we really are doing well. We have to just disconnect from any negativity that's trying to tell you that you're at a disadvantage, you know, and make sure that we benefit, like, because of what this world has put me through. That's why I'm still in business. I can withstand more. Like, I mean, basically I have a superpower because I'm Black. The things that I could tell you that has been done to me, you know what I mean? And I stood through it and moved through it. You know what I mean? You would say, oh my goodness. I mean, most people would never. When I tell my white friends about what I've been through and what has been done to me for no reason, none, you know what I'm saying? It makes them almost cry. It's like, I mean, but that is our superpower. So you ain't got to do nothing for me. Nothing. Because all we do is make it better. We make it better. Like the AfroEconomics, my first part of the book, I say this makes the entire world a better place. Our empowerment. The moves that we make, because we have such a commitment to excellence. We make this planet better. Everybody benefits from your smart financial moves over the long term. We just have to stop allowing the short term stuff to stop us.
Yeah, they call that collective consciousness. Huh?
Yeah. Our individual consciousness gives us the collective consciousness. But first we gotta start with my own mindset. You know, my own mindset to be the best that I can be makes everybody that looks at me say a better things about every Black person that comes after me. But any ignorant, stupid, weak, lack of discipline move that, God forbid, I make, it reflects on you too. And that's what we have to start taking responsibility for each other.
Amen.
Because really do. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to say, well, it ain't my fault. I ain't no role model. You know what I mean? Well, you something. You something. Somebody's looking at you.
Everything is connected.
Yes,
Everything
we
is
are.
one.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I mean, you think like Mr. Joe was saying, this young lady was like telling him, he didn't even think they were listening to what he was saying. They're like, oh, just want to let you know I did something smart financially. You know, that's so beautiful.
And she couldn't wait for her sister to brag about it.
That's so good. That's so good. That's so good. That's why I tell clients all the time. I go, please tell me the good stuff. Because I don't make enough money to benefit from the money. So please tell me the good stuff so my mind can be fed. My heart can be full. I need that wealth. That makes me feel rich. Knowing good stuff's happening. Good stuff. But y'all have a good night. I love y'all.
Good night.
JB, stay black.
That's right. All life long.
Stay strong.
Thank you. Thank you. All lifelong. Y'all funny.
Good night, everybody.
Stay conscious, y'all.
Hey, JB, let me hold something.
Good night. Good night.
Everyone. Good night,
Thank you to everyone.
Good night, baby.
Enjoy everyone. Thank you. I enjoy you all. Good night.
Aww.
Good night. Love y'all.
Ocean of
Night,
consciousness,
JB.
y'all. All right.
Good night.